single gate. I'm a missile of salvation flying to my fate. Megaton overdrive, carrying the doom. I'm flying out the city just to clear the neon room. A sacrificial driver on a one-way deadly trip. I'm holding down the heavy wheel with an iron grip. Megaton overdrive, counting down the end. I'm saving the metropolis. The ultimate defend. The police are in pursuit, they don't know what's inside. They're trying to pit maneuver and ruin my final ride. I ram the heavy cruiser, sending him into the wall. I don't have time for games, I gotta save them all. The bridge is straight ahead, the desert is beyond. My life is just a pebble dropping into the pond. 2 minutes on the clock, the reactor starts to whine. I'm crossing the perimeter, I'm crossing over the line. The timer is descending, the adrenaline is pure. This is a fatal sickness and I am the only cure. I'm running every red light, smashing every single gate. I'm a missile of salvation flying to my fate. Megaton overdrive, carrying the doom. I'm flying out the city just to clear the neon room. A sacrificial driver on a one-way deadly trip. I'm holding down the heavy wheel with an iron grip. Megaton overdrive, counting down the end. I'm saving the metropolis. The ultimate defend. 60 seconds. 30 seconds. Clear the blast zone for the Jedi. Megaton overdrive, carrying the doom. I'm flying out the city just to clear the neon room. A sacrificial driver on a one-way deadly trip. I'm holding down the heavy wheel with an iron grip. Megaton overdrive, counting down the end. I'm saving the metropolis. The ultimate defend. 10, 9, into the desert. Goodbye. Bye, bye, bye. Blacked out chassis and a spirit made of lead. Driving through the sectors where the corporate fear is spread. can hide away. Neon nightlife burning up the floor. Give me one more rhythm, give me one more roar. Underneath the lasers, underneath the glow, this is the only heaven that we'll ever know. Neon nightlife, electric and divine, tangled in the rhythm, your body next to mine. Don't stop the beat, keep the night alive. Magnetic clamps engaged, the tires leave the ground, entering the tunnel where the silence is profound. A vacuum of the physics, a tube of glowing rings. This is the arena where the cyber angel sings. I pitch the vehicle upward, riding on the wall. In a zero-G environment, you never really fall. Upside down and twisting at a dizzying pace. The ultimate evolution of the human race. Centrifugal force keeping me on the track. There is no up or down, there is no looking back. The plasma barrier is flashing, a hazardous maze. I'm lost inside the beauty of the neon craze. Zero-G apex spinning around, breaking the limits of the speed of sound. Corkscrew motion in a cylinder of light, a 360-degree mechanical fight. Zero-G apex, defying the earth. Attack, not logical. Glorious rebirth. The rival tries to ram me from the ceiling above. A violent display of a competitive love. I cut the thrust of power, let the chassis float, and watch him fly past me, missing the boat. I re-engage the magnets, pulling to the floor. A surgical maneuver they can never ignore. The finish line is glowing like a digital sun. The race of a century has already been won. Centrifugal force keeping me on the track. There is no up or down, there is no looking back. The plasma barrier is flashing, a hazardous maze. I'm lost inside the beauty of the neon craze. Zero-G apex spinning around, breaking the limits of the speed of sound. Corkscrew motion in a cylinder of light, a 360-degree mechanical fight. Zero-G apex, defying the earth. Attack, not logical. Glorious rebirth. Spinning, aligning, trajectory locked, thrusters at maximum. Zero-G apex spinning around, breaking the limits of the speed of sound. Corkscrew motion in a cylinder of light, a 360-degree mechanical fight. Zero-G apex, defying the earth. Attack, not logical. Glorious rebirth. Exiting the tube, gravity restored, apex achieved. sparkle screen, the most beautiful code I've ever seen. I'm typing my heart through the telephone wire, a digital spark, a computer fire. My CPU is running hot tonight, searching for you in the binary light. 1 and 0, heart and soul, losing all my self-control. I've got a cyber soul, wired to you. Everything I feel is electric and true. Break through the system, bypass the wall. I'll catch you whenever you start to fall in the cyber soul. Silicon valleys and mountains of lead. The words of the poets are all in my head, but they didn't know about the data in Greece, the pieces of us that will never find peace. I wonder where the feeling went. Connection established, I'm finally home. Inside the chrome, inside the chrome. Stable, love confirmed. Interceptor's tailing on a complicated plane. I'm navigating geometry, ignoring all the pain. But the city starts to shift, an architectural trick. The background is moving impossibly quick. The skyscrapers accelerate faster than the car. The foreground is frozen, the background is a star. A visual distortion, a parallax attack. The bending up the optics on the cybernetic track. Depth perception failing, losing all the scale. A multi-dimensional illusion of the trail. I calculate the vectors, I trust the instrument. Driving through an altered digital descent. Parallax pursuit, twisting up the eye. Where the ground is the ceiling and the concrete is the sky. A vertigo of neon and overlapping maze. I'm trying to escape this geometric haze. Parallax pursuit, shifting out of line. A visual assassin of a beautiful design. The bridge in front of me is stretching out for miles, then snapping back to nothing in a couple of the dials. sonar of the engine bouncing off the ground. If I believe the vision, I will surely hit the wall. I have to trust the rhythm, I have to trust the call. Depth perception failing, losing all the scale, a multi-dimensional illusion of the trail. I calculate the vectors, I trust the instrument, driving through an altered digital descent. Parallax pursuit, twisting up the eye, where the ground is the ceiling and the concrete is the sky. A vertigo of neon, an overlapping maze. I'm trying to escape this geometric haze. Parallax pursuit, shifting out a line, a visual assassin of a beautiful design. Static, background, flying. Trust the math, stop the dying. Recalibrate! Concrete is the sky, a vertigo of neon, an overlapping maze. I'm trying to escape this geometric haze. Parallax pursuit, shifting out a line, a visual assassin of a beautiful design. Optical lock, grid stabilize. Made of neon in a sea of broken glass, watching every shadow and every sinner pass. I am the iron barrier, I am the heavy shield, the only piece of justice that the mega city yields. My sirens are a melody of safety in the dark, igniting the perimeter with a cold and blue spark. No predator can enter, no scavenger can stay, when the guardian is coming to clear the path away. Red and blue are flashing on the armor of the frame. I don't have a face and I don't have a name, just a silent promise to the people of the street, measured by the rhythm of a heavy metal beat. The grid guardian standing in the breach, out of all the shadows and out of every reach. A fortress on the highway, a titan in the night, protecting every dreamer with a beam of holy light. The grid guardian, honor in the steel, taking back the city with a heavy steering wheel. The syndicates are hiding as I roll into the block. I am the heavy mountain that the criminals can't shock. Hydraulics holding steady in the middle of the fight, bringing back the order to the chaos and the fright. Through the smoke of the rebellion and the fire of the gun, I'll stay upon the watch until the rising of the sun. A solitary soldier with a digital command, the only wall of mercy in a devastated land. rising from the wreckage and the rusted pieces of the past. A mechanical miracle that's built to really last. Wings of polished silver unfolding in the dark, ignited by a holy and a digital spark. I leave the dirty asphalt, I leave the heavy ground, surrounded by a beautiful and terrifying sound. The city is memory, a flicker in the mist, a sanctuary for the soul that simply can't exist. Feathers made of carbon, a heart of liquid gold, the greatest of the stories that a human never told. Ascending through the clouds to the artificial sun, where the final evolution has officially begun. Silicon seraphim flying in the light, watching all the shadows of the world turn into white. A goddess of the circuit, a goddess of the wire, burning through the atmosphere with a celestial fire. Silicon seraphim, the spirit of the pure. Speed is the salvation and the speed is the cure. The stars are getting closer, the air is getting thin, washing out the memory of the gravity and sin. I look back at the grid, at the valley of the neon, a beautiful disaster that the rebels always lean on. I'm a vessel of the heaven, a vessel of the code, leaving in the limits of the subterranean road. I merge with the horizon, I merge with the array, bathed in the glory of an everlasting day. Break the chains and the pains, the glory of the grid is running in the veins. A silicon seraphim flying in the light, watching all the shadows of the world turn into white. A goddess of the circuit, a goddess of the wire, burning through the atmosphere with a celestial fire. Silicon seraphim, the spirit of the pure. Speed is the salvation, and the speed is the cure. Higher than the moon, beyond the stars. Seraphim. Central reactor is taking its final breath. The entire metropolis yielding to the death. The power grid's failing, sector by sector down. A wave of the darkness swallowing up the town. I sit in the leather, turning the key once more. The very last engine roaring upon the floor. No traffic to beat, no rivals to push aside. Just the absolute end of the universal ride. The sky is collapsing, the stars are winking out. There is no more anger, there is no more doubt. I'm driving out to the edge of the empty land, with the steering wheel resting inside of my hand. The last arpeggio playing in the dark, watching the fading of the final human spark. A beautiful tragedy written in the chrome. The end of the highway, the end of the home. The last arpeggio ringing in the night. I'll keep on driving until the end of the light. The holographic billboards stutter and finally break. The oceans are freezing, the mountains begin to shake. I roll down the window, listening to the end. The silence is heavy, a terrifying friend. I remember the races, the adrenaline and the fire, the beautiful madness of the cybernetic wire. But everything turns into memory and the dust, a monument returning back into the rust. The sky is collapsing, the stars are winking out. There is no more anger, there is no more doubt. I'm driving out to the edge of the empty land, with the steering wheel resting inside of my hand. The last arpeggio playing in the dark, watching the fading of the final human spark. A beautiful tragedy written in the chrome. The end of the highway, the end of the home. truly alive. The interceptor's tailing, but they're miles far behind, looking for a ghost that they are never gonna find. I dive between the buildings, I disappear in mist, with a heavy metal weapon wrapped around my wrist. The data's downloading a river of the pure. Speed is the addiction and the speed is the cure. I vanish in the static, I vanish in the light. A masterpiece of robbery in the middle of the night. Hack the bridge, break the wall. The empire's data is gonna start to fall. Pirate drive. Loot secured, connection severed, pirate out.
Neon reflections on a tear-stained dash, living my life in a digital flash. The city is sleeping, but the grid is awake. I'm pushing the throttle for my sanity's sake. A silhouette drawn in the retro glow, chasing the ghost on the radio. The skyline is bleeding in a velvet red. I'm running away from the words you said. Through the smoke, through the rain, I'm accelerating through the pain. Analog heart a human never told. We're standing at the junction of the energy and light, between the heavy morning and the infinite night.
The world is holding breath now,
The world is holding still.
surrendering at last to the architect's will.
We are the bridge of silver, we are the bridge of fire,
Fulfilling the prophecy of the electric desire. Eternal equinox, racing through the line, finding in the center a trajectory divine. A symphony of photons, a symphony of speed, fulfilling every animal and every human need.
eternal equinox, the spirit of the one, underneath the orbit of
The artificial sun. I look at the horizon, a sea of emerald green, the most beautiful transition that the district's ever seen.
We ride on the photons, we ride on the stars, healing every memory and healing every scars. The circuit is a circle, the circuit is the flow.
Watching as the entire galaxy begins to melt and glow.
We are the architects of a brand new day,
Washing all the vanity,
and sorrow
day meets the night,
dark meets the light.
dark meets the light.
The final resolution
you're the king, but you haven't felt the fury that my cylinders bring. The mirror is reflecting your predatory glare. There's a scent of the vengeance inside of the air. I'm closing the distance, I'm closing the gap, escaping the shadows of your digital trap. Shift into the red line, let the spark start to fly. Under the canopy of a purple sky, two titans of metal, two spirits of fire, tangled in the wires of a lethal desire. Neon nemesis burning up the track. There is no mercy and there is no looking back. A duel in the darkness, a duel in the light. The only two monsters left in the night. Neon nemesis, shifting through the soul, losing the limits and losing control. We're side by side now, a blur of the chrome, thousands of miles away from a home. I ram your side panel, I hear the metal scream, the deadliest nightmare in a digital dream. The bridge is approaching, the drop is so deep, the only kind of secrets that the outlaws keep. It's you or it's me at the end of the line, and I've already decided the victory is mine. Eye for an eye, gear for a gear, the only thing that we ever fear. Ramming speed. Neon nemesis burning up the track. There is no mercy and there is no looking back. A duel in the darkness, a duel in the light. The only two monsters left in the night. Neon nemesis, shifting through the soul, losing the limits and losing control. One remains, one falls. Nemesis. blood is turning neon, my heart is turning fast. I'm living for the second that was never meant to last. The hut you beat is glitching out, a static in my eye. I'm seeing every color of a motherboard sky. My grip is like a vice upon the leather of the wheel. Forgetting how to breathe and forgetting how to feel. Just the raw vibration, the shaking of the frame. A biological error in the middle of the game. Sweat upon the forehead, fire in the vein. Looking for the pleasure in the middle of the pain. The red line is a liar, I can push it even more. Kicking down the hinges of the sensory door. Adrenaline anomaly spiking in the dark. Looking for the friction and looking for the spark. I am the exception, I am the beautiful flaw. The fastest little monster that the city ever saw. Adrenaline anomaly, overload the brain. I'm driving like a demon, and I'm driving like insane. The sirens are a whisper, the world is just a blur. I'm a chemical reaction where the instincts all occur. I don't need the logic, I don't need the view. I'm a horizontal hazard coming straight for you. The engine screaming with me in a synchronized cry. Underneath the canvas of a violet sky. I'm a pulse of pure energy, I'm a streak of the light. A biological weapon in the middle of the night. Too fast, can't stop. Heartbeat, drive or drop. Adrenaline anomaly spiking in the dark. Looking for the friction, looking for the spark. I am the exception, I am the beautiful flaw. The fastest little monster that the city ever saw. Adrenaline anomaly, overload the brain. I'm driving like a demon, and I'm driving like insane. System overload, heart rate critical, anomaly. The asphalt is a subject and the speed is my decree. The only kind of justice that is ever truly free. I don't follow the traffic, I don't follow the laws. Ripping through the silence with my electronic claws. The needle's in the red zone, but I'm pushing even more. Kicking down the hinges of the galaxy's door. I'm a horizontal tyrant, a bullet in the wire. Setting all the logic of the system on the fire. Hear the turbo chanting, a violent refrain. Washing out the static and the corporate pain. I'm redlining the destiny, I'm redlining the soul. Losing the perspective and losing all control. Overdrive, overlord, ruling the track. Once I hit the trigger, there is no turning back. A symphony of motion, a symphony of speed. Fulfilling every animal and every human need. Overdrive, overlord, shatter the divide. With the entire universe standing by my side. The interceptors scatter when they see the sonic flare. They can't find a target when the target isn't there. I weave between the sectors, I glide across the glass. Watching all the atoms of the universe pass. ground, instincts all begin to occur. I am the final signal, I am the final flash, heading for the future in a beautiful crash. I own the road, I own the light, the king of the distance, in the middle of the night, bow to the speed. Approaches a barrier of the light. I close my eyes and hit it in the middle of the night. The skyline starts to shatter, the mega city falls, replacing all the towers with the pastel-colored walls. The heavy bass is fading, the melody gets bright. I'm shedding off the armor in the warm Miami light. A tempo shift of physics, a bend inside the line. I'm leaving the tomorrow and going back in time. Racing through the years, leaving the dystopia and wiping out the tears. From the flying cybercars to the classic rolling chrome, I'm driving through the decades just to find my way back home. Chronos checkpoint, shifting out of is my domain, breaking every boundary and breaking every chain. My vision is a vector, a straight and narrow aim, playing with the physics in a high velocity game. Align the coordinates, lock the target view. I'm a horizontal promise coming straight for you. The speedometer is melting, turning into fire, fulfilling the prophecy of the electric desire. Vector vanguard, cutting through the gray, leading all the rebels to a brand new day. A symphony of photons, a symphony of speed, fulfilling every animal and every human need. Vector vanguard, the master of the wire, setting all the logic of the system on the fire. The interceptors scatter, they can't handle the pace. I'm erasing every limit of the time and of the space. I drift around the sectors, I glide across the glass, watching all the atoms of the universe pass. No friction on the rubber, no friction on the mind, leaving all the limits of the planet far behind. I am the first signal, I am the first flash, heading for the future in a beautiful crash. Point A to point B, the shortest way home. The king of the circuits, the king of the chrome. Vanguard, engage. Path established, leading the way. Vanguard. Years ago on this very same bend, I met the concrete, I met my end. They built a memorial out of the chrome, but my spirit was restless, I couldn't go home. Tonight is the night of the Champions Cup, so I'm firing the spectral cylinders up. A chassis of smoke and a tire of the mist, I'm crossing my name off the casualty list. I phase through the barricade onto the track, the legend returning, I'm finally back. The living are shocked by the chill in the air. I drop into gear with a supernatural flair. Phantom Apex, back from the grave, riding the frequency, surfing the wave. I'm passing the mortals and immortal machine, the fastest damn phantom that you've ever seen. Phantom Apex, reclaiming the crown. I won't let the memory burn to the ground. The leader is sweating, looking into the glass. He sees a transparency making a pass. No engine noise, just a howling of wind, a punishment sent for the race confessing he sinned. I take the tight corner, no traction required, driven by forces that cannot get tired. The finish line banner is snapping in two as a translucent vehicle blasts right through. I phase through the barricade onto the track, the legend returning, I'm finally back. The living are shocked by the chill in the air. I drop into gear with a supernatural flair. Phantom apex, back from the grave, riding the frequency, surfing the wave. I'm passing the mortals, an immortal machine, the fastest damn phantom that you've ever seen. Phantom apex, reclaiming the crown. I won't let the memory burn to the ground. Death couldn't stop me. Time couldn't hold me. The track is my soul, and the speed is my body. I am eternal. No artificial brain, just the gasoline pumping through the vein. Turn the physical key, hear the cylinder scream, waking up the beast from an analog dream. EMP overload, the city goes black. I'm bringing the old school combustion back, rolling through the shadows of the silent street with a heavy metal rhythm and a savage beat. EMP overload, breaking the chain. The king of the mechanical is back to reign. Power down, start it up, hear it roar, give me more. EMP overload, the city goes black. I'm bringing the old school combustion back, rolling through the shadows of the silent street with a heavy metal rhythm and a savage beat. EMP overload, breaking the chain. The king of the mechanical is back to reign. Analog survival, leaving them in the dark. Burnout.
Far above the smog and the neon decay, I found a secret road where the lonely ones stray. The hyperlane floating invisible high, a ribbon of light in the stratosphere sky. The city below is a grid of the past, a mechanical ocean that's fading so fast. I turn off the radio, listen to space. A beautiful silence is filling the place. The air is so thin, the stars are so near, wiping away every residue fear. No traffic, no signs, no rules to obey, just riding the rings of the Milky Way. Hyperlane drifter touching the moon, cruising alone in a cosmic cocoon, leaving the gravity far down below, basking inside of the ultraviolet glow. Hyperlane drifter, weightless and free. This altitude is the only heaven for me. The tires are rolling on magnetic streams. I'm driving right through the fabric of dreams. A meteor shower is crossing my path, a quiet escape from the cybernetic wrath. My dashboard is glowing a delicate blue. I'm so far away from the world that I knew, a solitary ship on an endless sea. Just the engine, the cosmos and me. The air is so thin, the stars are so near,
pulsing loudly like a serpent in the dark, igniting every sector with the supernatural spark. They try to categorize me, try to find the name, but I'm the evolution of the cybernetic game. Half machine and half nightmare, shifting through the shade, the most expensive era that the syndicate has made. Unleash the power, unleash the rage, break the shackles of the metal cage, hunt them down. Predator on wheels, nowhere left to hide. Chimera. Buried in the junkyard under mountains of the rust, a legend of the highway turning slowly into dust. The chassis was a carcass, shattered bone and twisted frame, forgotten by the city and stripped of every name. But I can hear the whisper of the engine in the dark. I bring the jumper cables to deliver the spark, replacing all the arteries with copper and the wire. I'm breathing in the life, I'm igniting the fire. a necromancer. To every prayer of speed, you are the violent answer. Awaken from the slumber, electrical and deep. We have a bloody promise that we gotta keep. Neon necromancer, screaming from the grave. You are the cyber demon that I couldn't help but save. Out of the graveyard, onto the grid. The dead are driving. Made of iron and the water's made of oil. Below the surface, cooling pipes begin to boil. I'm driving on the surface of a silver-colored sea, the only place where gravity can set the spirit free. The spray is cold and heavy, like a rain of melted lead, with a holographic sunset glowing orange and red. I'm carving through the ripples of a dark synthetic blue, chasing down a horizon that is never really true. Mercury is rising in the wake
Dashboard dials are melting, forming into squares. The universe is answering my cybernetic prayers. I take my hands completely off the glowing steering wheel, because the simulation is the only thing that's real. A tunnel of triangles, a pyramid of light. I'm falling through the center of the geometric night. The rhythm is a pendulum swinging in the mind. I'm leaving the reality of linear behind. The destination vanishes, the journey is the loop. I'm diving down the rabbit hole, a holographic swoop. The colors are refracting, magenta, cyan, gold. A pattern of the universe beginning to unfold. Driving on the fractal freeway, where the end is the beginning and the beginning is the end. Watching all the architecture multiply, and then I'm losing my direction. I'm melting in the shade, a psychedelic journey with no promise of escape. Fractal freeway, spinning round and round, lost inside the visual, lost inside the sound. Looping back, dividing down, shattered glass in a digital town. Surrender to the shade. Driving on the fractal freeway, where the end is the beginning and the beginning is the end. Watching all the architecture multiply, and then I'm losing my direction. I'm melting in the shade, a psychedelic journey with no promise of escape. Fractal freeway, spinning round and round, lost inside the visual, lost inside the sound. Round and round, endless loop. Fractal.
Staring at the lights, waiting for the red. Silencing the voices echoing inside my head. Grip upon the leather, sweating in the glove. This is not a hobby, this is a violent love. The grid is fully loaded, engines in the choir. Breathing in the fumes, ready for the fire. Dashboard is authentic, analog and pure. Looking for the danger, looking for the cure. Clutches on the floor, RPM is high. Tension in the air, cutting through the sky. Checking every system, locking up the soul. Initiating now the ignition protocol. Hold the line, wait for the command. The greatest intersection in the neon wasteland. Hear the pistons knocking, eager for the flight. Burning up the clutch in the middle of the night. Ignition protocol, counting down the time. Ready for the glory. blinded by the light. I have got the wisdom downloaded in the brain. I have got the ice water running in my vein. The telemetry is perfect, the sequence is complete. I can feel the vibration rising from the street. A momentary silence before the world explodes. The undisputed king of the cybernetic rose. Clutches on the floor, RPM is high. Tension in the air, cutting through the sky. Checking every system, locking up the soul. Initiating now the ignition protocol. Hold the line, wait for the command. The greatest intersection in the neon wasteland. Hear the pistons knocking, eager for the flight. Burning up the clutch in the middle of the night. The sky is a bruise of the yellow and green, the ugliest weather that I've ever seen. Burning the towers and melting the glass, a chemical ghost as the minutes all pass. My wipers are struggling, the vision is blurred, the loudest silence that I've ever heard. The chrome on my hood is starting to peel, the acid is biting the heart of the steel. No umbrella can save you tonight from the poison that's falling in the neon light. The city is crying a corrosive tear, washing away every memory and fear. Acid rain anthem, singing for the lost, calculating the damage and paying the cost. Every drop is a needle, every drop is a flame. The sky has forgotten the megacity's name. Acid rain anthem, a beautiful decay. Watching the world slowly melting away. The tires are leaving the trail in the sludge, the elements acting as jury and judge. I see the survivors in the alleyway deep, while the rest of the metal is starting to weep. The paint is dissolving the rainbow of death, the atmosphere taking the city's last breath. But I keep on driving, I keep on the flow, through the yellowest river I'll ever know. Corrode the mind, leave the old world far behind. Rain keeps falling, metal is screaming. Acid. See 1,000 versions of the vehicle I drive. I see 1,000 versions of the way that I survive. The walls are made of silver, the floor is made of glass. Watching all my shadows as they elegantly pass. Neon light is bouncing in an infinite array. I can't tell the nighttime from the middle of the day. Every corner is a prism, every street is a trap. I'm looking for the exit on a fragmented map. Am I moving forward or am I standing still? Losing all the power
The image is distorted, the image is a lie. Watching all the phantoms in the mirrors of the sky. I hit the gas and shattered through a barricade of glass. A symphony of splinters as I finally pass. But even in the wreckage, the reflection stays the same. A silent competitor in a visual game. Am I moving forward or am I standing still? Losing all the power, losing all the will. The reflections are whisper in a choir in my head. Everything I've done and everything I've said. Mirror shot, metropolis shattered in the view. Looking at the world and looking back at you. A labyrinth of ego, a labyrinth of light, burning in the center of the geometric night. Mirror shot, metropolis, a beautiful deceit. Lost inside the echoes of the silver-colored street. Who is real? Who is ghost? The guest or the host? Mirror shot, metropolis shattered in the view. Looking at the world and looking back at you. A labyrinth of ego, a labyrinth of light, burning in the center of the geometric night. Mirror shot, metropolis, a beautiful deceit. Lost inside the echoes of the silver-colored street. Shattered glass, endless light. Mirror.
The sky is turning orange, the sun is turning rust. I'm driving through a canyon made of radioactive dust. The visibility is zero, the radiation's high. But I'm a desert demon who is never gonna die. My goggles are all clouded, my lungs are breathing fire. Riding on the carcass of a flattened burning tire. I feel the static building, the lightning in the sand. The only kind of master in this devastated land. Hear the sandstorm screaming, biting at the paint in the land of the sinners. I am not a saint, I drop the heavy hammer, I kick it into gear. I am the only taste. Lost in the storm, keep the pedal down. Drifter.
Her blades are ticking like a clock upon the glass, watching all the shadows of the underground past. There's blood upon the pavement, washing in the drain. A neon lit murder in the middle of the rain. I've got the target's profile burning on my screen, the ugliest criminal that I have ever seen. I slide the heavy magnum right onto the seat. I'm bringing down the justice on this isolated street. Following the oil leaks, tracking down the tread. I won't stop the engine till the fugitive is dead. The city is a liar, the city is a thief, but I am the deliverer of the final grief. Rain-slicked retribution, hunting for the ghost, taking down the demons that the mega city hosts. Cruising through the alley with the vengeance in the heart, tearing their illusion and their alibis apart. Rain-slicked retribution, a bullet in the dark. I'm leaving the offender with a permanent mark. I see his tail lights glowing a dirty shade of red. He thinks he can escape the heavy bounty on his head. I kill my own headlights, running in the blind. I creep up in the dark and staying right behind. He pulls into a warehouse, thinking he is safe. A rat hiding deep inside a cybernetic strafe. I park the car in silence, step into the chill. I'm a professional, and I am moving in to kill. Following the oil leaks, tracking down the tread. I won't stop the engine till the fugitive is dead. The city is a liar, the city is a thief, but I am the deliverer of the final grief. Rain-slicked retribution, hunting for the ghost, taking down the demons that the mega city hosts. Cruising through the alley with the vengeance in the heart, tearing their illusion and their alibis apart. Rain-slicked retribution, a bullet in the dark. I'm leaving the offender with a permanent mark. Cornered in the dark, nowhere left to run, just the rain and the smoking gun. Pay your debt. Rain-slicked retribution, hunting for the ghost, taking down the demons that the mega city hosts. Cruising through the alley with the vengeance in the heart, tearing their illusion and their alibis apart. Rain-slicked retribution, a bullet in the dark. I'm leaving the offender with a permanent mark. Case closed, wiping the barrel, driving away. Driving away.
the shadows, a rebel in the night. We fought the megacorps and we bathed in neon light. We drove through the radioactive, drove across the sky. We showed the cyber city how a heavy car can fly.
We outran the mega tanks, we outran the clock. We shattered all the glass and we broke the final lock. 99 battles fought upon the burning street. Now the ultimate arena is resting at our feet.
All the phantoms, all the rogues, lining on the grid,
Celebrating all the crazy miracles we did.
the absolute apex, the pinnacle of sound.
We're gonna drive this vehicle straight into the ground.
The Centurion Circuit,
The legend comes alive
100 burning chapters.
of the ultimate drive.
We are the immortals.
We are the heavy chrome.
The entire cyber universe is calling us home.
The Centurion Circuit, tearing up the core.
We're breaking out the matrix, forever, evermore.
I hear the V12 engines harmonizing in a choir. 100,000 vehicles spitting out the fire. From the alleys of the Yakuza to the orbital ring. This is the finale where the metal angels sing.
We carry all the memories, we carry all the scars. We're launching off the asphalt and heading to the stars. No limits on the engine, no limits on the soul. Total liberation and the ultimate control. All the phantoms, all the rogues, lining on the grid.
Celebrating all the crazy miracles we did.
The absolute apex, the pinnacle of
We're
sound.
gonna drive this vehicle straight into the ground.
The Centurion Circuit,
The legend comes alive
100 burning chapters.
of the ultimate drive.
We are the immortals.
We are the heavy chrome.
The entire cyber universe is calling us home.
The Centurion Circuit, tearing up the core.
We're breaking out the matrix,
Forever, evermore.
for the neon,
For the rust
for the glory.
in the dust,
100.
we are infinite.
The Centurion Circuit,
The legend comes alive
100 burning chapters.
of the ultimate drive.
We are the immortals.
We are the heavy chrome.
The entire cyber universe is calling us home.
The Centurion Circuit, tearing up the core.
We're breaking out the matrix.
Forever,
The circuit is complete.
the legacy sealed.
Centurion. The crown is made of pistons, the throne is made of steel. The absolute authority at the center of the wheel. I don't ask for permission, I don't ask for the way. I'm taking every credit that the masters didn't pay. The highway is a servant, the highway is a slave to the horizontal fury of the restless and the brave. I drop the heavy hammer, I kick it into gear. I am the only monster that the city has to fear. Shift into the red line, let the plasma flow. Watching as the energy begins to melt and glow. I'm a horizontal titan, a horizontal flare, setting all the static on fire in the air. Kinetic kings ruling the track. Once we hit the trigger, there